Thank you, Mom.
No problem.
All right. So, thank you for joining me again. Let's hope this works better this time than first time.
Oh, for sure. How have you been, man?
Been good. It's been lots of snow here in Ontario. I've been out shoveling and outside in the snow for the morning. I came in for the afternoon. I just helped my dad put a box on our six-wheeler. So, yeah, I'm
Nice, nice.
getting busy. So, I got more questions too.
For sure. No, it's nice and sunny over here.
Yeah. All right. So, obviously, thank you in advance for helping me with my first YouTube channel video. Hopefully, it's successful for both of us. So, question one.
For sure. For sure.
Question one is: I read you completed your bucket list by the age of 22. Have you added anything to it since then?
Yeah, I've actually added a couple things to it. Completing it, kind of made me feel like I accomplished it, but I wanted to continue to do a little bit more. So I ended up putting on, I wanted to go ride a bull and I wanted to go hiking. So I wanted to find a cliff to actually climb up. I don't know if it'd be something like Everest or not, that's pretty crazy, but probably somewhere in Utah or something, go climb up some mountains and try to kind of travel around a little bit more.
Cool. So, question two. I read that you have played every sport. You're in Canada. Have you played hockey?
I have not. I have not played hockey, and that's something that, man, I give props to anyone that does play hockey because, man, that's something. I went ice skating once, a couple of people, and I was just couldn't. I was trying, but my ankles were giving out, and I was flopping around. I'm like, man, I don't know how people up there in Canada get this done because, especially with like actually, competing with other people, that'd be so tough, man. But no, I definitely give props to hockey. I haven't did that. Always wanted to do it, but never got the chance to because I live over here in Missouri, so we don't have much ice, we don't have much rinks, and but no, you guys got that up there for sure.
Question number three. We met at a show in Toronto in 2019. Do you remember that weekend?
I do. That was a very special weekend to me. I didn't get to drive for a lot of months before that. It was going on. I was going on about 6 months without being in a truck, so I was really itching to get into my truck and get to go out there and actually tear it up for the fans. And but we just moved from to the brand new arena that you guys have. So that was the first show that we ever got to actually do in that arena, and so it was like a little bit of pressure on us as far as, all right, we need to get in there, we need to tear it up, we need to put on a great show for this event. We need to go out there and just give it all we got. And especially with me being out, I wanted to. So I finally got to go up there, got all my things in order, all the paperwork to actually go to Canada. That was the first time I was ever there. So it was a good new experience for me. And then with actually doing the event, it was a great event. It was, I think, my second overall win I've ever gotten. And so being out of the truck and getting to come up there and tear it up, man, it was amazing. And the crowd was amazing, absolutely so loud. And no, I'd love to do another event in Toronto for sure.
Well, I would like more events to come to Toronto when it's safe.
For sure. No, I would love to come back. I'd love to.
They're just as fun to attend as you guys probably enjoy performing them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, that's why we're there as the fans. We're there to drive the truck, the best we can to put on the best event we possibly can for you fans. And so it's to hear that means a lot to us. That means that we're doing our job and all the hard work that we're putting in pays off and it's working out.
Question number 4. Where was your favorite place to perform? City, country? Where was your favorite place that you ever performed or have performed?
Man, I mean that's a pretty tough one. There's a couple of them that I actually really enjoy performing at. I got the same East Coast tour I had as last year, so I did a little bit of the same shows, and then a couple different ones. But I definitely have like a top three, and Toronto is definitely on the top three. I mean, the crowd was just so loud, and they loved it. I loved performing there, and it was amazing. But getting to race in some of these different arenas, they just all bring a different aspect to it. So it's hard to just pick one that was just, so much better than others because they all have different parts. Some of the places we go out to eat at a special place, or the event, as far as the crowd itself is different, or the way that they cheer is different, or the people there. So everywhere is special in its own aspect. But man, I'd say my favorite one I've had so far would have been Kansas City, for the fact that my whole family got to come to it. So my grandparents got to see me drive, all my cousins, friends, aunts, my dad, all of them got to show up to this event. And so that was very special. But Toronto, it was so loud, man. I love that place. Um, yeah, it was, I got a couple different ones.
Question number 5. For those who want to get into driving a monster truck or into the business at all, is there a way to do that? And if so, how does it work?
So the best way to do that and to get in and around Monster Jam is to work for Feld Entertainment. So you have to hit them up. They have an online thing where you can actually go there and get an application to do different jobs, whether it's driving or working for the AV, or doing the interviews, or whatever you'd like to do. Then they have a school for if you want to be a technician and work on the trucks and stuff like that. UNOH is where they're actually doing all the schooling for that. So they're hiring people in from that. But if you want to just get in and around it, that's the best way to get in to it, is just start working for them. And then you'll just kind of move around where you need to go and work your way up.
Did you look up, so question number 6, did you look up to any drivers growing up, or have any drivers influence you over the years?
I did. I had a couple that influenced me a lot, and that was like the main reason why I became a driver. And there's 2 of them, and of course, it's going to be the top 2 that you'd think it would be. It was Tom Mintz and Dennis Anderson. Both of them were very special to me growing up as a kid. I'd watch them on TV. I'd wake up on a Sunday morning and monster trucks be on TV, and I'd just be watching them go out there and just tear it up every time. But they're the reason that I wanted to become a driver, because when I'd see some of the drivers, I was like, yeah, that was an okay run. Yeah, that was an okay jump. But when they go out there, they would burn their truck down. Literally, it'd be on fire by the end of the run, tore up. And I was like, that's what I want to do. And when I become a driver, that's how I'm going to drive. And I'd watch these runs wanting to do it. And I was like, I want to compete against those kinds of people. And so I started following them. So I followed Gravedigger, followed Maximum Destruction, and they're my huge inspiration to me, as far as from a child till now, to hopping in the truck driving.
I think my mother can also attest to someone in this household waking up early to watching Monster Jam before school as a child.
Yeah, yes, she did.
Before school.
For sure. I mean, you got to, man. It makes the day great after watching Monster Jam all day. I mean, that's the best way to start the day.
So the last question I have for you is, if you could drive any truck from any decade, what would it be and why?
Man. So there's 2 top trucks. All right. So I was a huge fan of the Predator truck growing up. So I'd see that truck come out, and I loved the way it looked, and I loved everything about it. I thought that truck was just so sweet. And so I've always wanted to drive that truck. that was a really, really cool truck for me. And then they had a special anniversary all gold maximum destruction truck. That it was the first event I actually got to go to watch. It was the World Finals. They came out with this all gold truck, and I was sitting there. I was like, I didn't even realize that they had that. They had that and then an all black one. But I thought that all gold truck was just so cool. That's my favorite color is gold. So the whole truck was just decked out, and I wish that they'd have like a season long with that, because I mean that's just such a cool truck. I wish that I would have got to see it around a little bit more. But man, if I could drive either one of those trucks, that'd definitely make my day. Like, you know, that'd be cool.
I just thought of one more. What do you think the biggest
right.
rivalry in monster trucks has been ever, like in terms of rivalries?
Man, there's a lot of rivalries in monster trucks. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of stuff that you'll see out on the floor and you'll see outside of the floor. It's when we go out there and race or we go out there and have a competition, it's actually real. I mean, we go out there and we want to win. We need to win. I mean, that's why we're there. The biggest rivalry, of course, is Max D and Gravedigger. They're back and forth all the time, button heads. I'd say that's probably definitely the biggest one out there is them. I mean, every time we go out there, it's at the end of the event, it's just them two battling it out, and so they'll go out there and tear it up. Where I'm out there, I was like, I don't care if they win or he wins or anything. I just want to win myself. So I'm out there. I got a rivalry against everybody. I'm like, all right, I want to come out here and tear this truck up. But no, that's definitely probably the biggest one.
All right. I would say that one, but I'm going to go a little old school. I was thinking also Gravedigger and Bigfoot. That used to be big.
All right, I forgot about that one. I definitely forgot about that one. That one's still big. That one's huge. I mean, that's back and forth. I haven't got to see many shows with Bigfoot recently. I want to watch him, see how he's been. But no, that's definitely a big one, is Bigfoot.
Well, thank you again. I don't have any other questions, but if you want to ask me anything before you're welcome to ask me a question or before the.
You know what? All right. So if you could drive any truck out of any of the trucks out there, what truck would it be? And from what era, would it be from?
Ooh, there's so many. I would go with either the original Gravedigger, so the red primer.
Okay.
Or your zombie truck.
Ooh, man. I'll tell you what, I really appreciate that, man, with the zombie. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. Man, after hopping in the truck, that'd be cool for sure. I got to see the red primer. I just got back from North Carolina. I worked up there for a little while, the Digger Dungeon. I get to see that truck. It's beautiful, man. It's a really cool looking truck. So that's cool. They're going old school.
That place is on my bucket list.
Man, it's a place to go. They got all kinds of stuff there. I was driving the ride truck there for a minute when all this started happening down here in the States. And no, it's definitely cool. They got everything there, that you could check out. Then they got all their mega trucks up there right now. So that was cool for me to see. I haven't really been around mega trucks much. I've just been around the monsters. And so they'd be tearing stuff up from when they went out to an event and tore off wheels or whatever, and so that was cool to see those things. They're definitely a different animal compared to a monster truck. It's just a different kind of stylish setup, but it is cool, man. It's really cool. Definitely a good place to go. It's right next to the beach. That's something I didn't realize is it's like 30 minutes from the beach. So you can check that place out, go check out the beach, get you some ice cream or something, man. Come back. It's a good day.
Okay, Mom, we have to make note of that trip to North Carolina when this is all over with.
For sure. For sure.
Well, I don't think I can think of any other questions.
Okay.
Well, thank you again for taking the time. Let's hope this time works a little better than the last one.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Really
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate this. It's lots of fun.
Good, good. Man, I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate being in this, video. I hope that it's the best. I hope you and your family are safe during these times, and hope to get up there to Toronto to see you again soon.
Thank you, and same to you.
All right, man. I'll see you.
So, hi, Steve.
Hello, Devin.
Thank you for taking the time today.
No problem.
I've got a few questions for you. Number one, how long have you played for Buffalo?
I've been with the Buffalo Bandits for 14 years, but because of COVID, this is only my 13th season because we had one season canceled.
Have you ever been traded?
No, I was drafted to Buffalo in 2010, and I've been there ever since and never thought about being traded.
Would you rather an NLL title or an Olympic medal?
Well, I grew up watching the NLL, so that's always been like my dream. And I know with Olympians, they grow up watching the Olympics and hoping for that, right? So it's a little bit different. So for me, I'd love an NLL championship, and I've won Worlds now twice, and that's kind of like our Olympics. But now that we're actually in the Olympics, having an Olympic medal would be pretty cool.
How long have you been a captain of the Bandits?
I think 2018. I'm not totally sure, but I think it was 2018. Yeah. So 5 years, 4 seasons.
What does being the captain mean to you?
It's interesting because it was nice to be recognized for, leadership and skill. But at the same time, that comes with a lot of responsibility. And I think that's actually what I like about it the most, is having that extra responsibility and that extra pressure to perform and do really well.
What does recently signed Chase Fraser bring to the team?
Having Chase healthy and back with our team is really important because he's so athletic and creative, and he's just such a good locker room guy. So it's just fun to have my friend back as Chase Fraser, and just a fun person to watch.
And final question, what's it like to be coached by John Tavares, who is one of the biggest names in the NLL?
Yeah, JT having the scoring records and all sorts of just legendary performances in big games. What I've noticed about him most is how smart he is and how he sees the game on a different level, right? He's always thinking ahead, and when we do video together, it's like, look what they're doing. This is how we expose that. Like, this is how we win this game. Like, this is a flaw they have, and this is how we expose it. And he's just so smart, and he just loves the game so much. So you learn a lot being around Tavares.
Well, thank you for joining me.
Awesome. Thank you, Devin.
There we go. Yeah, I can hear you good with your microphone, man. We're on.
So, thanks again for coming on the channel.
How have you been?
Been good. Excited.
Good, I am too, man. It's been a long time since we've been able to have a good talk.
It's been 3 years. I watched the first interview to get ready for this one a little while ago.
That's awesome.
Alright, so I've got, I think, 4 or 5 questions for you.
All right.
So the first one, have you noticed a change in your driving since you drove Zombie to now driving Earthshaker? Monster.
I actually have, and it deals with a lot of different things. I think that comes in play with it. Is back when I was in Zombie, it was triple threat, and so I was on the ATV and then hopping on the Razor, then into the Monster jam truck. And it was just such an adrenaline-packed event that was like as a collective whole that when I'd hop in the zombie truck, I was so just amped that I was very, very, very aggressive driving. And I also had some really good competition that I was coming up against. You know, all of them are, almost all the people that I was, you know, racing against is all now world champions. And so, I mean, like, it wasn't an easy race by any means. And now, driving Earthshaker and Monster Mutt or Rockwell Red or whatever Monster Jam truck I'm in for the weekend, the events are a lot more toned down for me, as far as not so just go, hop out of one, hop in the next, and then run it just to the extreme dirt. And so I'm pushing the truck as far as its limitations can go, and just trying to make it through the whole event where I don't miss any elements. I won't miss donuts, you know, because I went too big in a sky wheelie, or you know, went too hard in donuts or something, and flip over and break a bunch of stuff and can't make freestyle. And so that's where I'm at now, is I'm pushing the truck as hard as it can go, doing as best of a job as I can do without causing a bunch of damage where I miss a bunch of events, you know. And so, like, that's it's turned into a very different kind of driving style that I'm learning, and it's definitely been a learning curve, though.
Everybody you competed against is now a world championship. It's been that long, and they're that talented.
Yeah, they were. I mean, like, you got Armando, you got, I'm pretty sure Kristen got,
Kristen has a world record. She doesn't have a world championship yet.
That is true. She does have a world record. Then you got Tristan, and yeah, I mean, just like a lot of them, like, you know, half the fleet that I was against.
And you guys are all veterans now. You're not rookies anymore.
I know, it's crazy. Like, I mean, everyone's been in the sport for so long now that it's crazy to think that, like, we are veterans in the sport now. You know, it's been that many years.
That was going to be the last question, but I'm going to bump it up to the next question since we went there. Who do you think is the best up-and-coming driver in the industry right now, male or female?
Man. That's a really, really tough question, because there's a lot of different drivers with a lot of different driving styles. And, I mean, for me, it would have to be, you know, pretty one-sided, just because the people that I run with and the team I'm with at Team Pro Auto Monster, I'm with these guys every single week, and I can watch their progression, I can watch their growth, I can see how much they're pushing the trucks to different things. And so I couldn't really choose one specific driver. I would either say Devin Winfield, Berto Trevino, or Tim Hall Jr. Between those three that's on the team, I watch every single one of them, and they are progressing from the first time I saw them drive to now, just, you know, insane amount. And so I have no idea exactly where they're going to be at, say, in a year, but I know, say, in, you know, 2 to 5 years, I mean, they're going to be one of the top dogs, you know, in the industry.
Well, they have a good teacher.
That is true. Yeah.
You want my three?
Yeah.
All right. So one is John Zimmer Jr.
Okay.
This is in no order. There's also a theme. This is all drivers who I've seen.
Okay.
Live. 2 is Jamie Sullivan.
Okay.
And 3 is Weston Anderson.
Weston is an animal. I will say that. Weston is an animal, and I always forget that he's fresh in the sport. Like the way he drives.
Drive like it.
No, he doesn't. I mean, he drives like he's been in it for 10 years. I mean, he's a really good driver. I ran with him this past weekend. I mean, it was a really good time. But he's definitely some stiff competition.
You also ran with him a few weeks ago in Edmonton.
Yeah.
How was it like to be back in Canada? And is there anything that kid can't do with a monster truck?
I don't know yet. I mean, like, he's pushing that truck as hard as it can go. I mean, I really don't know. I don't think that there is any limitations that he has. I think it's just in his blood and his DNA from his family doing it, and you know who his father is. Canada was the first time I actually got to run with him and actually see how he performed and how he raced. And I mean, like, it blew me away. It was so awesome. As far as Canada,
He
though,
made the YouTube highlights that weekend because he did a wheelie with one wheel, and
yeah,
everyone's trying to figure out how in the world he did it.
it's Gravedigger thing, man. I mean, those trucks, they dance in different ways, man. It's something about them. I got to test drive one when I was in Paxton, and I loved that chassis as far as the weight and everything it felt. I could make it do anything. I mean, Gravedigger trucks are so cool. And yeah, no, I mean, that kid, he can put it in, do whatever that he wants it to do. And no, he's a really good dude. I really like Weston, man.
Do all the trucks drive different, or do they drive about the same?
I will
This
tell
question
you.
is not what I have written down.
Oh man, every single, not necessarily just Monster Jam trucks, but every single monster truck as itself drives completely different. And so say, I mean, I couldn't tell you how many different chassis I've been in, and like even just going through Monster Jam University, I was probably in 5 or 6 different chassis. Every single one of them was built the exact same with the exact same parts. Every single one of them drove completely different. And it was just slightly off. It wasn't anything crazy, but one would do nose wheelies really, really well. Another one would do actual wheelies really well. One was awesome at racing. I mean, like, it's just, but it was the same exact truck. And so, yeah, every single Monster Jam truck and monster truck is completely different when you hop in them. So that's why it's a hard learning curve as far as, say I get in a new chassis for the weekend, I got to learn that truck instantly. I'm going to have to back up here for this old one. And, there we go. But no, every single one of them, man, it's hard to learn that fast. Cause I mean, you're in an event. I mean, like, they're like, hey, it's racing, and you pin it, and you got to learn right then and there how it's going to react and how it's going to feel and how the shocks work on that specific truck. But yeah.
And the events aren't like what they used to. Like the first time I saw you, where you have a break. It's now you get in and you go.
Yeah.
And you do not stop.
There's no stopping. I mean, like, we are running every single week.
I lost you for a second.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Devin was calling me. But Devin Winfield was calling me. I apologize. But no, I mean, like, we just go. I mean, we run hard. We run so hard, man. It's awesome because there's no breaks, you know, as far as like when I had triple threat and stuff like that, I'd go a couple months without driving. Now it's like every single weekend we're somewhere, doing something somewhere, different city, different country, every single weekend. And it's so much fun, man. It's so cool. But yeah, it's just go, man.
I'm going to take a guess at the trucks you've driven. I want you to see how right I am. Or if these are the ones that at least I know of.
Okay.
Zombie.
Yeah.
Rockwell Red.
Yes.
Ice Cream Man.
Uh-huh.
And Earthshaker. Those are the 4 that I know of.
Okay.
And Monster Mutt.
Monster Mutt. All right. So
which ones am I missing?
So we got Zombie. I drove Soldier Fortune Ice. I filled in for Tony.
I didn't know that.
One event. Yeah, it was one event filled in for him. So it was Zombie, Soldier Fortune Ice, Ice Cream Man, Rockwell Red, Kamikaze, Earthshaker, and then Monster Mutt. So I guess I'm trying to think what else I drove. I think that's it. So it's 7.
Wow.
I thought it was 8. I got told it was 8 by someone, and I can't remember if I'm missing a truck or not.
Maybe 8's coming up. Maybe that's why.
Maybe so, man. I mean, never know. Might be in Velociraptor next weekend. Who knows?
You do drive for a team of lots of trucks, so.
Yeah. You could rack them up pretty quick. I mean, just filling in. I think Tim put down a couple of them on his belt this year just randomly. It was like, hey, this weekend, I got to go hop in this truck, and he just flew out and got a new truck underneath his belt, so.
All right, so one of the last questions, I got 2 more.
Okay.
So the first one is there any difference between Monster Jam and the other tours? Because since we last talked, you got to do some independent touring.
That is true. And I will tell you this, independent touring and Monster Jam is so different in so many ways. And there is a lot of different, I love them both in their own aspect. I love them both in their own ways because nothing can beat Monster Jam. I mean, like, Monster Jam is Monster Jam. It's as big and as bad as you can get. The biggest, baddest trucks, biggest, baddest drivers in the entire world. When you come out there...
It seems to get bigger every year.
Yeah, and I mean, it's always growing. Monster Jam has grown so much in the past years, and I love it. I mean, especially all the drivers, too. I mean, you got to think about the tricks that they do now compared to 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. I mean, everyone's coming up with new adaptive tricks of even, like, coming up, hitting the rear steer, and then you, like, pop up on the pod, while going straight and walking. Like, it's just crazy stuff you'd never think about, but all these drivers are collectively bringing this into the world and the industry. So,
the Anderson boys.
Yeah, mostly the Anderson boys. Those guys are crazy. I love them all, man. But we got, so with that, when you go to an independent show, they are so different, and I had to relearn how to drive running independent shows because I was driving like I was in Jam. But all the ramps aren't perfectly set, I mean, like, they do their best to make the best possible track that they can. But they got cars, they got buses, they got big old tabletops, they got just kicker jumps.
They got the fun stuff.
Yeah, they got all like this crazy stuff. They got like campers out there, and you just look at it, and I'm like, well, I've never jumped a bus before. And so I just had to learn right then, like, okay, so I got to go up to it like this, I got to hit it like this, not land here. And so with like independent shows, I had to just completely throw out what I knew and bring in how it was there. And now I can do slap wheelies there and, all kinds of fun stuff. So like there's a lot of different stuff I can do at an independent show compared to where I'm at in Monster Jam at the moment, which is arenas, because it's an arena, so it's limited on the different kind of variations that you can do. You're limited on, space, but so you can't really like drop it down and then walk a flat wheelie 100 yards. You just can't physically do that. And I love them both in their own way, to be completely honest. But yeah, I mean, like, it's been so much fun just going out and just running hard for all of these promoters and all these different people and different speedways. I mean, like, it's so much fun, man.
So the final question I have, I think you knew at some point I was going to go to this.
Okay.
Can you talk about how you got back behind the wheel after the pandemic? You knew I was going to go there at some point.
I knew you were going to go there. I've been waiting to do this interview for 2 years now, man. Because
3 years, I believe.
When the pandemic hit, everything changed. Like they swapped stuff around in the monster truck industry, and one of the things they swapped around is I wasn't in it at that moment. So I was out working wherever I was, could work, man. I mean, like, it was just, everything was just kind of a little bit weird and different at that moment. But I always wanted to go back racing, man. I always, this is what I love. This is my life and what I do. And so I was just waiting and then talked to you. And we were just talking.
Thanks to a Facebook post.
Yeah, Facebook.
Following, because I follow all the monster truck teams of different tours, and one of them had a post about drivers wanted, and I went, I know somebody who might want this, and sent it to you, and went, I don't know if it'll know anyone. And Looks like it has.
And so you sent me that, and you're like, you know, do you still
I
want to
can't
drive
remember what
monster
that
truck?
was for now. What
Yeah.
team it was, I can't even remember.
It was for Team Triple B Motorsports.
Glad you remember.
Yep. And it was crazy because you sent me that, and I was like, yeah, I mean, like I've never did independent stuff before, you know, but if they want a driver and need a driver, like I'll hit them up and see. And so I hit them up that night, and the owner of it hits me up. His name was James, and he's like, yeah, you know, like, have you drove a monster truck before? And I'm like, yeah, I've drove a monster truck before, you know. And so I sent him videos of Zombie.
That was the first question.
Yeah, that was the first question. Like, have you ever drove a monster truck? I'm like, definitely drove a monster truck, man, you know. And
If you send him a highlight of you and Zombie, that would have said, here's your answer.
yeah, it was that. I did. I sent him a highlight reel of Zombie, and I was like, yeah, like, this is what I did. Like, this is who I am, dude. And he's like, awesome, you know. And so we went through the details of it, and within I think it was like 2 weeks, he's like, hey, we got an event in Georgia. Sorry if I lagged out a second. And so I was like, yeah, let me talk to my work. So I literally went to my job and was like, hey guys, I'm quitting, man. And they're like, what do you mean you're quitting? I'm like, I race monster trucks, so like I'm going back to my job. And they were like, are you serious? I'm like,
They've called me back.
yeah, like they didn't even know I drove trucks. And within 2 weeks, man, I was back in a seat because of you. Like, and you know, it's been history since. I mean, joined Team Throttle Monster now and living in Utah and loving it, man. Back in Monster Jam, sick.
So, in other words, this channel, the first interview, you were out of work. Not long after that, it was probably a few months after that, was I sent you the thing and you were back. So if not for this channel, you would not be driving the truck again.
I'm serious. Yeah, I would still be working wherever I would be working. I mean, like, 'cause I just didn't know how to get back in it. Like, I mean, like, I didn't keep up with it enough, you know. That part
I
of
had
it, you
nothing
know.
else to do. There was a pandemic.
Dude, like, it's so sick. Yeah, like, you and your channel got me back in a seat. Like, you giving me that information, man, it helped me so much. I gotta say thank you, man, because, like, you brought it back, man. I mean, I know there's a lot of people in this world you made happy, too, from it. Because, like, a lot of people loves seeing me drive and loves knowing, you know, what I'm doing right now. And
One of them would be right here.
yeah, dude, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
I just thought of one more question.
What you got for me?
So, podcasts are a thing now, apparently, because I listened to the one for Monster Jam.
Yeah.
I don't know why they haven't had you as a guest yet. You'd be a good guest. But if you could have a podcast, a monster truck podcast,
Yes.
which current or former driver would you want as a co-host? Other than me.
Is it like a far out one? Like, or, because
No,
I
like
know.
if it was to talk monster trucks. If you had a monster truck podcast, which current or former driver would you want as a co-host?
I mean, of course I'd say Tom Ince. Like, I mean, he's the guy that taught me how to drive. He's one of the arguably best dudes that's ever drove a Monster Jam truck. And so, like, I would love to have him as a guest. I mean, the stories that man has, the knowledge that man has is, you can't get that from anywhere. But I mean, like, he also lives in Illinois and I live in Utah. So I mean, it'd be really hard to kind of like get that going. But I'd say probably Tom.
I'm in Ontario right now, and you're in Utah, and we seem to be, with neither one of us good with technology, have managed to do this.
That is true, man. That is very true. Shoot.
Hi, Steve. Thanks for joining me this afternoon on this impromptu second attempt at this.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Let's get us both in this here, bud. There we go.
Yeah, that works.
There we go.
There we go. So, the TSN NLL on TSN announcer always says, cross the gamer runs. And since you've last been on the channel, you have been on quite a run in terms of adding your trophy case. 2 NLL championships, 1 World Cup gold medal, and 1 Mem Cup championship. I can still pronounce that.
The Man Cup. Yeah.
So you and the Bandits were in Ottawa last week for the game of the week. You won 18-7.
Yep.
You got a penalty for slashing.
I did.
And the broadcaster said you could think of 10 things that you would rather have happen than be slashed by you. And then he wasn't nice enough to name the 10 things on the air. And if he ever watches this, I'd love to know what that list of 10 things was.
Yeah, it was a pretty intense game, and they were calling it, I think, pretty tight that game. They didn't want it to get out of hand, so I feel like that slash would have been let go in any other sort of game. It was a loose ball. I was kind of I was whacked the stick, and but yeah, right to the sin bin for me.
At least you got on television.
Oh man, the whole time we're on television.
Yeah, but at least you yourself got on television.
Oh yeah, did they have a close up of me in the penalty box?
Yes, they did.
Was I cursing and swearing?
No, you had a big grin on your face.
A big grin.
Yep. What was it like to play in Ottawa at Canadian Tire Centre?
It was cool. It was really nice to see behind where the players all get ready, all the different bands and rock stars and people that have come through there. I know it's a pretty historic spot. It's been around, was the Scotiabank before that?
Yeah, that's where I saw my first hockey game.
Yeah, right, perfect. So yeah, there's a lot of history there, and I know that city is hungry for more sports. So they really want more sports. So it was nice to feed that.
Seeing a team that wins is probably good.
Well, they're gonna be good, man. They will be good. They're just a young team, right? Like they're.
I mean, they're on the upside, the Ottawa Senators.
Oh.
Just be glad I'm not taking a jab at the other team in the city where you're from.
Well, the Senators were good when Daniel Alfredson was there, Spezza. They even had Chara for a bit.
Yeah, they were good. I mean, they're not very good players.
No,
But that's something.
But that's sports, right? Like sports go through swings. Like you just said, you started this whole segment with, lacrosse is a game of runs, and that's the same with everybody in all sports. Is you have to capitalize while the iron's hot, because if you look at Buffalo right now, we are all at the perfect age and we're all sticking together.
Buffalo, yours or?
Ours, Buffalo Bandits. We're hitting a good stride right now.
Yeah, yes you are. And your team is owned by the same people who own the Sabres and
the Bills. Yeah, it's Terry Pagula has something called Pagula Sports Entertainment, PSE. And
do you guys ever do cross promotions where you do Sabres night or they do Bandits night or anything?
Yeah, we go to Sabres games and shoot the t-shirt cannon.
They let you shoot a t-shirt cannon.
Yeah. Or hit the gong, hit the big gong.
And they don't want you bring it here, so we can.
Yeah. We do more cross promotion with the Bills, though. It's just the way the seasons line up, and a lot more with the Bills.
Yeah, well, no, sure. Because the Leafs are at KeyBank Center today.
The Leafs are?
To play the Sabres.
Tickets are probably more expensive than they are all year.
And the Sabres are not doing very well.
Oh, man. That's okay.
But they're trying.
Yeah. Yeah, the Sabres are Florida's farm team.
That's better than the one I saw on the internet. So the last time we tried this, Juan Soto had signed a big contract, and we talked about free agency.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't mind trying that again. That was actually the part I enjoyed the most of it, the last interview. Before it went.
Oh, the interview?
No, before the thing never recorded.
Oh yeah. The Juan Soto signing his contract. We were talking about what contracts and how they work, right?
That's what I said.
Yeah, and I think that's a tough one, because normally people, if you're going to leave your team, you're leaving for more money or to a team that's going to win, and it depends on where you are in your career. So I don't know how old Juan Soto is, but
he's 26, I believe.
Yeah, so he's pretty young. He signs a big deal. I think
for more money than you and I will ever see.
Yeah, but the Yankees would have probably given him quite a bit of money too, right? So it's interesting to me to go to the Mets, where he might not win, and leaving a team like the Yankees with Judge and all these guys that are always contenders.
They just seem to be getting better this week. Now got Cody Bellinger and somebody else.
Yeah.
Go Yankees.
Yeah. And the Dodgers are good. Like, I'm surprised he didn't leave to go to the Dodgers or something, right? Like, they've been winning. You know, I guess they just signed, what's his face? Yeah, Otani for 700.
I'll bring that up to anyone in the city of Toronto because we still think he was on a plane. I still think that was the funniest part of the last year was them tracking that for an hour on television.
Oh, really? Watching him move around?
One of the TSN radio shows tracked the plane for an hour
Yeah.
on national television.
Nice. Wild.
Yeah.
Series going. All right.
Well, I think that covers it. I guess we're close to Christmas. Are you doing fun for the holidays?
No. I got a game though. We play on the 28th against Rochester, the home opener, the banner raising night.
I was just gonna say, when you get your championship ring and the banner raising.
Championship rings are in. We get them on
already, or
no, on the
you
20.
have
Give it on. We're gonna get it on the 27th.
Oh, they give them to you at
The
the arena.
arena, and then we
Oh,
have
yeah, I guess
banner
they want to
raising.
make it like a ceremony.
And the banner raising night. So.
Ceremony is always fun.
Oh yeah, they're good. They're distractions.
Will they give you little banners like last year?
I don't know.
I hope
Find
they
out.
do.
It'd be cool.
Yes, they will.
Yeah, right on, dude.
Thank you.
What's your show called?
This show?
Yeah.
With my channel. Here we go. Can you hear the microphone just out of curiosity?
I can hear
Okay, that's good. Forgot to check that with all the other issues.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining me.
you. No problem. Thank you for having us.
Since we finally got the technology figured out, this is a learning process for everybody involved.
That's for sure.
Alright, first question. How did you get started in the monster truck industry?
Oh, that's a loaded question. There's so many different factors to it. I was born in 1975, ironically the same year Bigfoot was born. And I went to my first monster truck show in 1983 and didn't think much of it. I actually liked the mud racing a lot more than the monster trucks at the time. The first truck I ever saw was Blue Thunder Camaro. And that was in 1983. And then the late 80s, the TNT series came out. Once the TNT series came out, I was just love the racing. I love the fairgrounds atmosphere. I love the racetracks. I love the whole part of it. I love the the tour atmosphere. Those guys were on the road. It seemed like they never went home, and I just really liked that part of it. And that's and I had done a little.
Question 2. How many different monster trucks have you driven?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't think I've probably driven maybe 10 or 12.
Wow. Alright, question 3. Have you ever done a show outside of the USA?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we've gone to Mexico, South America. We've been all over Canada.
Any favorite venues that you liked over the years? Any favorite buildings?
No, not so many. Well, I mean, I like the Houston Astrodome. I like history. I like a lot of U.S. history, and the Astrodome had a lot of history in it. Pontiac Silverdome. I've done the Pontiac Silverdome too, and the Silverdome was to me the most historical building because that's where the first car crush took place, where the first paid monster truck event took place, and I like the Silverdome. Silverdome was a lot of fun. But my favorite places to race are a lot of the fairgrounds and the dirt tracks throughout the Northeast. Just kind of a grassroots style stuff that I like.
Question 4. What's your favorite thing about being a monster truck driver?
My favorite thing the favorite part that's kind of a loaded question. There's a lot of my favorite things that I do. Nowadays, my favorite thing is the fact that I get to do it with my family. I wouldn't trade that for the world. But one of my other favorite things is going from show to show, loading up, driving through the night, getting to the next show. Those are the times that really test you and drive you.
Question 5. This is the one that you wanted me to ask. What do you want to see, or where do you want to see the monster truck industry go in the future?
I started in the monster truck industry because I loved the racing. I loved legitimate racing. In the future, I think I've said this a few times, a couple of years back, and I don't like to base anything off of what Monster Jam does, because I don't think a lot of Monster Jam. I think what they do is good, but it's not what the monster truck industry is. But it's not realistic. It doesn't have a shelf life. It has a very short shelf life. It's not, like I said, what they do is great. What they do, they bring a great product to the market. But I just think there's so much more we could do with these trucks. And Monster Jam themselves couple of years back, whichever World Finals it was, that Zach Garner had won the racing championship. The racing was so good at that particular World Finals that it overshadowed the freestyle. Then, if you fast forwarded a little bit further on that same year, you had a couple of different promoters that were experimenting using really long tracks, where you're doing multiple laps around speedways, which is great. And I think that
just sounds fun.
What's that?
That just sounds fun.
Well, it does. The only thing is we have to take a step back, and you got to think outside the box. And I don't think the equipment, the standard equipment that we're running now, the supercharged blown alcohol motors, a lot of the parts we're running, I don't think they could sustain doing events like that back to back. If you did 4 weeks, like let's say you did 4 weekends where you're doing multiple laps around an oval style track or something like that, I don't think it's conducive to the business side of it. So that will now drive innovation. And I think a lot of the innovation is going to be in engines coming up in the near future. A lot of guys, I would love to see the manufacturers get back into monster trucks. I'd love to see Ford, Chevrolet, and of course Ram is involved with the Hall brothers. But I'd like to see Ford and GM maybe play a small role. They don't have to, NASCAR, nothing NASCAR style, even though NASCAR is, going away, the Buffalo. But the consumers out there are buying trucks, and there's so much of a market. It's just a matter of portraying us right and portraying it's kind of taking a step backwards to have that thought, but I don't see how it's going to survive any other way.
I just wish any of it would be on TV, because up here where we are, it's not on TV. There's no exposure at all unless it shows up 2 hours from where I am in Toronto. That's the only time you see it, and other than that, you have to watch YouTube and where I am, the internet is funky, like how you're having internet issues. So unless it comes to town, we don't see it. We don't get the exposure anymore.
If you if you the exposure, you know, and that's the one thing Monster Jam does good with is exposure. They put the monster truck, they put the existence of a monster truck out there in public, which is great. It's great for the monster truck world. But one of the things that I've been amazed with recently, the tractor pullers, most of the tractor pulling teams have used social media and have actually exploded their industry. They've made themselves look like $1,000,000. Those guys have done so good with the podcast, which we've got guys in the monster truck world that are doing the podcast are where it's at right now, and I think that's what's going to get a lot. You know, everybody, we're going to have a YouTube channel. We're going to have a YouTube channel's okay, but it's not as entertaining as a lot of people think it is. But the podcast and the fans, the integration of the fans that do the coverages, and you know, we have a good friend out here, Mark Galloway. You know, Mark's a quirky dude. We love Mark, and Mark, what he does is he comes to the shows, and a lot of times he'll set his cameras up, and you get that behind the scenes stuff with Mark, which is great. But if you can use that behind the scenes stuff and, you know, maybe refine some of the stuff we do, you know, or maybe if you know you're behind the scenes and you know you're on camera, you can kind of build a little reality and drama into it and make that the viewer feel as though they're part of it. And like I said, I can't say enough for the tractor pullers. All the NTPA teams are doing so good with that stuff, and I really wish some of the monster truck teams would do the same, myself included. I'm not real tech savvy with a lot of things, but I just kind of like doing what I do.
Like, I grew up watching Monster Jam on speed, so I mean that kind of broadcast. I miss those as well.
And a lot of people do. A lot of people miss the old school stuff. I mean, there's definitely a nostalgia aspect to it. Unfortunately, with us, our hardcore fans are generational. The 5 or 10-year-old kid that'll sit and watch a monster truck show 10 or 15 years ago is growing up with a family of their own now, and they might, you know, they'll get their kids into it. It's hard to portray it because the fans, you know, the hardcore fans that are the ones we love, that are just, you know, can tell you what you had for breakfast yesterday. Those guys are important to keep the history of the stuff alive. But our history, our business changes so much that it's super hard to get a fan to stay a fan for life, because they get hooked at such a young age. And then, you know, as with any human being, you change throughout life. You know, right now, that 5-year-old kid might be in a monster trucks. A couple of years from now, he might be into baseball or football or NASCAR or, you know, or whatever it is nowadays. You know, my life has just been trucks and equipment, so I don't know much else.
And my final question, if you could drive any monster truck from any era, what would it be and why?
Well, it would be one of 2 trucks. Either Bigfoot number 4 or First Blood from the early 90s. Not the one that became Wild Thing, but the one right before Wild Thing, the leaf sprung truck. There's just a nostalgia about those trucks and just such a coolness to them that, you know, and Bigfoot 4 speaks for itself. It's just, it's a legend, and there'll never be another monster truck like Bigfoot number 4.
I'm speechless. Well, thank you for doing this. Is there anything you want to ask me?
Where would you like to see monster trucks go in the future?
Honestly, I'd love more coverage, like on TV up here in Canada, so that we actually could have a program to watch it. Because after it went from Speed Channel to Fox Sports 1, it disappeared for like 15 years, came back for one on NBC, and then we haven't had anything since 2017.
Yep. Now you're from Toronto, correct?
I'm from Muskoka, which is 2 hours north of Toronto. So Toronto would be the closest event that I would go to, unless it was an independent event. Then it would be Sudbury, which is 2 hours north of where I am.
Now we did a lot of shows last year for Monster Trucks All Out, and I think he produces a great product, and I think he's done an amazing job at hitting a niche in a lot of these suburban Toronto areas that have these fairgrounds at them. That, I mean, he just does a great job, and the people that show up, it's like so many times in the States, you'll always be compared to a Monster Jam, to Monster Jam. And that's cool. You know what? A monster truck is a monster truck. But Monster Trucks All Out have done a great job at defining monster truck versus monster jam truck. And the people that see the monster trucks that we do are never disappointed in what they get, because it's such an up close, in your face deal. And I think they love that, and that's what I love doing those shows up in Canada. I love we've been in Canada more this year than we've ever been, and probably more than we were in the United States this year. We did so many shows up there, from the Maritimes all the way across Ontario, right over to Toronto. This coming June, I believe it is, we're going to be back in Toronto for a huge show put on by Monster Spectacular. That's going to be exciting.
That's another one of the big tours up here. There's 3 of them. There's All Out, there's Monster Spectacular, and there's now Monster Madness, which is a new
Monster
one.
Madness, years ago, Monster Madness, I did some of their first shows before they were called Monster Madness, and we had a lot of fun. We did a lot of shows up there. We did all these little fairgrounds, and we never had a bad time.
One of the first shows I did was, we did Monster Jam at Rogers Center, and then 2 years in 07, and I think it was 2 years later we did Monster Spectacular in Sudbury. So it was big dome to the little hockey arena. Mom and Dad didn't really like the hockey arena. I enjoyed the arena more, I will admit, because I've gone to Monster Jam a few times since in the arena. I love the arena shows more than a stadium, because you're closer to the action and you get more shows for your buck.
Yeah, I can see that. There's the way it's put on nowadays. I mean, I've often wondered if I always had this kind of a fantasy where it would be like, give me the resources somebody like Monster Jam has,
and give it to an independent tour and see what they can do.
Just give it to me one night. Let me announce it the way I want to announce it. Let me play the music I want to play. Let me bring the trucks in that I want to bring in.
And let me do the show my way.
Just give me the keys, and you tell me if your product is better than mine. And I'm pretty confident that people would
this idea.
enjoy the product better.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, and it's
let the drivers run it. Let's see what happens.
Well, that would be in a perfect world. Like I said, in a perfect world, that would be the way to go. I think there's a lot more. We're barely scratching the surface of what these trucks are capable of. My biggest gripe with Monster Jam is their shelf life is, they have a shelf life. But that's not necessarily just Monster Jam's fault. That's the way the business evolved and the industry evolved over the last 40 years. The trucks evolved faster than the tracks did. The tracks probably could have evolved a little faster. Technology just grew by leaps and bounds with monster trucks. Shock technology. But I also think there's a lot to be said for coming technologies. Like I said, engines. I think the engines are. It's just going to take somebody to try it. It's going to take somebody to think outside the box and to bring a different product out. Axles. I don't necessarily know where to go with axles and suspension technology. I think we're just way off on. We're stuck in a plateau with a lot of that stuff. And I think we just got to start thinking outside the box, and it's going to get better. And I think, you're going to have one guy or two guys. In the States here, you got David Tucker out of the West Coast that is just amazing with what he's got with his truck. And I've looked at some of his shocks. His shocks are incredible. And that's taking nothing away from a lot of the other guys that are building shocks like Overtime CNC. To me, shocks were always a mystery. And for those guys, when you make a phone call to like Overtime and say, hey, I need a set of shocks, and 2 days later they're sitting at your shop, it's pretty wild that they can turn out the products they're doing so fast. But again, guys are refining everything right now. They're refining this stuff, and Bill Payne's building this Clark Planetary setup, and there's so many different things, but it's still the same design. It's still a very archaic, antique style of stuff that we might need to start thinking differently.
Well, thank you for taking the time. I've learned a lot this evening.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's neat to learn more, learn some history of the industry. So it was very good.
Well, like I said, this stuff, the podcast stuff, and, don't ever just think you're a fan. If you feel you can contribute to the advancement of monster trucks just through any part of it, it doesn't matter. It could be a display. It could be anything. There's so much that goes into these trucks where if it wasn't for people like yourself and other fans out there that followed us and put the stuff out on social media, it really does help. People like to form opinions about a lot of things, and I get it. That's going to happen, but
I created this channel because of a monster truck driver, actually.
Well, that's it, So.
As in, it was their idea. They said, if you like it so much, create a channel.
And that's it. That's what you do. And the biggest thing is keep history alive. If you like any part of the history, if you think back to your time as a kid and one truck stood out to you, keep it alive. That's keeping the dreams alive.
Yeah, I'm an old school person, so to speak. So I'm 31. I was born in 94. But I enjoy everything from the 70s and 80s.
Yep.
So I have a few Bigfoot videos on VHS still. VHS player doesn't really work anymore, but I have videos.
No, that's all right. I mean, that's what we got YouTube for now. I'm sitting here watching a TNT show from Bowling Green, Ohio, in 1990. So.
Are you on the show that you were watching, or no?
No, I'm just watching it, just enjoying it. I like the old stuff. It's to me, everybody, the new age. A lot of the new age drivers will go and they'll take a big airhead and they'll be like, "Oh my God, I was up there. I was thinking about it," and I was like, "You're landing in stuff that's light years ahead of anything that some of these other guys started in," and
And you're protected by a roll cage. Think about people back then who just had seatbelts.
and that's it. It had lap belts. I started my first truck had a lap belt in it, but you just watch some of the stuff, and it's amazing the technology that has come out in these trucks, but it's amazing the guys from the old days survived the way they did. And
that would be a good tour. Everyone bring their 1980s trucks to a show and let's do a throwback night.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like my son Gage, he just bought a lifted truck. That's how we started. I started, I had a lifted F-150. It's just like this. A lot of guys, not myself, but I mean, a lot of guys would take their lifted street trucks and they grew into monster trucks. They were trucks guys drove on the street, and then they grew into monster trucks. The next thing you know, one week you see them driving down the road, and the next week you see them on TV. It's like, it's crazy.
I just thought of one last question.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite person to compete against back in the day? Like, did you have a favorite truck that you had any rivalries with, or anyone that you enjoyed participating against?
I never really had any rivalries with anybody. I enjoyed running with a lot of different guys.
That's what I was trying to say. Did you enjoy running with anybody?
I enjoyed running with guys like Robert Parker when he was driving Gravedigger.
He drove Gravedigger? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Robert drove quite a while for Gravedigger. And he always enjoyed running with him. Any of the old timers, man, I always like, and I say old timers, the guys that I looked up to. Always loved running with Kirk Dabney anytime I had that opportunity. There was a lot of there's so many guys that would teach you stuff, and you could learn a lot by watching them. Mike Vauders and I became good friends over the years, and I still watch Mike. I enjoy working with Mike. You always can learn anything from him, and he's a walking history book of knowledge. But there's I never really had any rivals in anybody. I enjoyed everybody. I've enjoyed every minute of this business that I've ever done it. And, and I enjoy it a lot more now that my boys are racing, my boys are driving, and, my boys are working and building, and that's what I like. We didn't have a real good year this past year. We broke a lot of stuff.
How many shows did you do this year?
What's that? I don't know. We didn't do very many shows this year, but we broke a lot of stuff. And this year, every time we broke, we learned what we broke. We learned why it broke, and we learned how to make it better. So this year coming up is going to be exciting. Preparation's the key. So if something is to break, we've got it. We can fix it, or we can get through it. And that's the key. For a long time, I had good dependability with my truck. Didn't have great performance. And now you try to find that balance between performance and dependability, and that's what we're working on.
And back when you started driving, you ran what you had, right?
You ran what you had, and everything you had was in the trailer. If you didn't have it, then you hope somebody else did.
And that's the other thing about the monster truck industry is you all help each other out. If something breaks, every team is over there trying to fix it, so that everybody can get a good show out of it.
That's right.
That's the one thing I've learned watching over the years is if something broke, every crew member would run over and help fix that vehicle so that the fans got their money's worth.
That's right.
Well, thank you for doing this.
No problem.
It finally worked. The recording worked this time. Now I just have to figure out how I'm going to upload it.
All right. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you later.
Yep. Hi, I'm Devin. Welcome to a very special interview with the creators of the Dinner with a Captain podcast. So, hello.
Hey!
Hey.
So, I'm with Steve Frillo and John Dinner, host of the Dinner with a Captain podcast. So, guys, thank you guys for joining me.
Great to be here.
So, question one. Which one of you came up with the idea to start the podcast?
that's a good question. It's kind of both of us, eh?
Yeah, what happened was we were finding ourselves talking about lacrosse all the time. And, with Buffalo's, Buffalo was talking about doing a podcast, and I was going to be a part of that. And I was like, man, let's just do this ourselves up here. Like, it seemed to be the way to go. And we talk about all this stuff anyways, so like, might as well record it and get it on tape.
I've got a little bit of background in media. I did student media and stuff like that when I was at university, and so it seemed like a.
That's what it was. It was you. Yeah, I was like, I was supposed to do a podcast, and you're like, well, I do media. Like, well, we're talking about stuff anyways. That's what it was.
And it turns out I asked better questions than the pros. So.
You are the pros.
Yeah.
Question 2. Did either of you think the North Captain would become as popular as it has? As of this recording, or as of December 14th, Steve's YouTube channel has 87 subscribers, and the Name of the Captain channel has 10 subscribers, and the latest episode has 54 views.
All right, we got 54 on the latest episode. All right.
I don't know your Spotify numbers, because I can find those.
Yeah, sure. And I think actually that's probably where we're getting the most play, because a lot of people in Buffalo are obviously watching and listening and stuff like that, so it's been really great. But I think when we started it, and I think why we like it so much, is we weren't worried about that at the start, right? We just wanted to keep talking, gave us an excuse to talk across, and
We're still waiting for ESPN to offer us $500 million, but we'll go from there.
You two would actually make pretty good broadcasters, I will say that.
Well, thanks.
Question 3. Have you ever thought about doing an episode live from a Bandits game or from an actual lacrosse game?
Well, I'm playing in the game, so.
He says it can't be done after you win.
Yeah, we tried to do one with the cup, and again, we just being amateurs and stuff like that, we still didn't have like all the equipment and recording stuff. But as it keeps growing, I think we'd like to do on the spot. And again, I consider myself a bit of a D-list celebrity in Buffalo now because of this. So not an A-lister like.
I'd like to do something like we could talk about doing even Instagram live like during our episode or something too.
Yeah.
So it's like we record the episode and put it out after, but we can also just go live once we, you know what I mean? Maybe do that stuff too. And
we'll convince TSN to mic them up, and then we'll.
That could be a good idea. Question 4. Steve, what is it like being a 3-time NLL champion and 2-time Man Cup champion? Hope I said that right.
I'm a 3-time Man Cup champion.
Yeah, you won one with Victoria.
Yeah, and to answer your question,
Yeah.
it feels very good. I think it's going to be something I'm going to be even more proud of once I retire. But it's hard to look back on that all the time because it's we're already into our next season, right? So we have a ring ceremony actually tomorrow on the Friday the 19th. But again, it's right now it's a why did we lose to Halifax? What's going on in our next game sort of mentality, right? So. Yeah, it's hard to count your.
Because someone to my right was in the pony box.
Who, me? No way.
Not
Not a chance. You're watching the wrong game.
That's my one job I did it. Okay, last question. What is your favorite part about making the podcast?
I think for me, it's being able to talk to a guy that's at the top of his game and doing what he's doing. I mean, Steve, when we talk about world-class lacrosse players, it's pretty awesome that get to spend some time talking about a game that I love with someone that's so knowledgeable and communicates it so well.
For me, it's I have a lot of thoughts about what's going on in the game and what's going on in NLL, and I don't know how to articulate that very well. So it's really nice. Like John's very good at pulling that information out of me. Like my dad always asks, he's like, you guys must spend time rehearsing, going over questions. And I'm like, dude, John just asks because he's interested, and I answer because I have things to say, and it's just been our thing the whole time. It's like for me, it's a very good outlet of discussing lacrosse.
I'm the same way with my videos. I don't even record, I just, okay, good.
Well, and it's working, because what are you up to? You're up to almost 400 subscribers now?
459.
That's awesome
right,
stuff. We'll pump you up on the podcast and try to get a few more people clicking that subscribe button.
Alright, thank you for joining me.
Hey, thank you
Thanks,
for having
Dev.
us, Dev. Awesome stuff, buddy.
I'll hit stop record.
All right, and you hustle so that